This is the San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr., and no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, we appreciate you for making today's show a part of your day. And on the show, should the Niners sign safety Tashaun Gipson following his 6-game suspension for PEDs this week? He did release a statement. He is not going to appeal this. He is taking ownership of his mistake. And he was suspended by the National Football League for violating the NFL's policy on performance-enhancing drugs. He is currently an unrestricted free agent after spending the last 2 years with San Francisco. And within his statement that we're about to read to you, he did say he wants to return for a 13th season, not sign an NFL free agency up to this point. And the question we want to pose for everybody here on the Niners Report: should San Francisco bring him back? First, here's what Gipson had to say. During this offseason, I took a supplement one time, which I thought to be completely safe and well within any of the NFL's policies. It was in no way related to performance, training, or gaining an advantage of any kind at any time. I have competed at this level for a long time and have nothing but respect for the game and the fraternity of players in it. The NFL's policy on PEDs is clear, and I take full responsibility for anything I put into my body. It is with great disappointment that I accept this suspension, and I do so knowing that I have never even attempted to cheat the game. I look forward to returning for my 13th NFL season and helping a team compete for a championship. That last bit there, I was a little bit surprised by. Gipson is an older player. He's been in the NFL for a really long time, as he noted. And I thought that after the Niners made it to the Super Bowl, he hasn't been signed. Maybe he was just going to call it quits. Maybe he still does retire. Does he retire when he looks around and says, no team willing to take a chance on me because of that PED suspension? It's been a great career. It's time to hang him up. Every PED suspension statement, though, is the same. So anytime in any sport there is an athlete who gets bopped for violating that league's policy on PEDs, they come out with the statement, and it's always the same thing. I unknowingly took a substance. I take full responsibility. I have never cheated the game. But the rules for substances are clear and also very, very strict. And anytime you're taking a supplement, you can get caught sometimes because the ingredient list sometimes can be very, very long. I think that NFL athletes should be more wary of what they put into their body, but there can be one bad ingredient in there that will flag a positive test. Then you get caught. Some people think that you're cheating. It's all downhill from there. It's no doubt unfortunate, and I don't think that Tashaun Gipson was trying to take something to cheat the game, but he is a little bit of an older player, probably trying to get the body right if he is trying to return for another NFL season. For the Niners here, the question becomes, will San Francisco bring him back after the suspension? And as part of that question, we of course have to look at the Niners safety position and the outlook of it, because I do think that while this Niners team is loaded, maybe the most talented team in football, they do have some weaknesses on this team, in particular at the safety spot. Thoughts on the safety position from yours truly here. You have Talanoa Hufanga coming off a torn ACL. Not sure when he's going to be back. He said his goal is to be ready for week 1, but he did suffer that injury against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in late November. The advances of medical science, surgeries, and recovery, it's gotten so good and it's enhanced to the point where when I was growing up as a kid, you tore your ACL, you were out at least a year. Now players come back 9 months. Sometimes it doesn't even affect their NFL careers, but in the physical game of football, you can't really bank on when you're going to come back from an injury like that because it all comes down to how you're feeling and if you have trust in that injury. And since it happened in late November, week 1 is not even really close to it being a year. So I don't think it's a sure thing that Hufanga is going to be back on the field for this Niners team come week 1 against the New York Jets in primetime. Now, Jair Brown did play really well once Hufanga got hurt. Third-round rookie out of Penn State was used in a versatile type of way, and I thought he passed with flying colors. He was a really solid player, and he's one of my prime breakout candidates for San Francisco going into 2024. He's going into year 2. The Niners did draft Malik Mustafa in the 4th round out of Wake Forest. I like the player, but he's a rookie. And then as far as your backups go on top of Malik Mustafa, you do have George Odom, but he's been a career special teamer, one of the best special teamers in the National Football League, but a special teamer for a reason. If he has to get consistent snaps at that safety position, you might run into a concern in that back end. And here's the outlook, too, of that Niners safety depth chart. If Hufanga's back, him and Jair Brown are going to be the 2 starters there at strong safety and free safety. But the depth there is a little bit of a concern, which is why Tashaun Gipson is somewhat of an intriguing option. Malik Mustafa, Eric Harris, George Odom, Taylor Hawkins, Jalen Mahoney, the UDFA, those are the backups, and Tashaun Gipson better than a lot of those players who are currently on the pine. This is today's poll question. Should the Niners bring back Tashaun Gipson once he comes back from that PED suspension? Let me know down in the comment section. And as you venture down there, make sure you hit that subscribe button here on the Niners Report. Whenever there is Niners news, we talk about it right here on this show. Shows every single day right here on the channel. We also have some great deals that we always give you, like this Niners t-shirt combo on sale this summer for just $45. How do you get it? All you got to do is use that link down below, chatsports.com/49combo. It'll take you to Fanatics. We really appreciate Fanatics for making today's show possible. We'll put that link down below in the comment section and in the description of this video. As for Gipson, the player, right? Played really, really well for San Francisco the last 2 years, in 2022 and in 2023. He was originally a practice squad signing in the lead up to the 2022 campaign. Before that, he had played with Chicago, and he was a really good player for a long time, but it was looked at as a depth signing, an emergency signing, bringing in a veteran who is savvy and smart, where if you need to go in that direction, you can go in that direction, and you won't really miss much of a beat. But nobody thought that Gipson was going to play as well as he did in 2022, and then that to carry over in 2023. He performed so well going from the practice squad to the active roster that when Jimmy Ward came back in 2022, because he was banged up preseason, early portion of the season, that the Niners wanted to keep Gipson on the field because they didn't want to take him off it with how he was performing, that they put Jimmy Ward at nickel. And Jimmy Ward, a team captain, former first-round pick under Jim Harbaugh, he wasn't happy about that. Now, he played nickel because it made this Niners team better, and that's credit to how Gipson was able to play. His Pro Football Focus grades in 2022, overall grade is 67.2, pass rush grade of 58.2. He's a coverage safety. Run defense grade of 89.5, really good. A coverage grade of 58, but on 671 coverage snaps, Gipson intercepted 5 passes. That was 4th in the NFL and had a passer rating when targeted of 51.5. Elite right there. So that's a good example of Pro Football Focus numbers not really detailing how good or bad a player is. You'd look at those grades and say, coverage grade of 58, not good. A lot of passer rating of 51.5 and picked off 5 balls. And then in 2023, he made a lot of improvements and was statistically even better than he was the year before. Overall grade of 73.5, run defense grade of 79.5, a coverage grade of 73.5, and in 667 coverage snaps, a passer rating allowed of 38.9, even better from the season before. So on that back end, he gave San Francisco really good coverage at that safety spot. He played better than anybody could have predicted. Again, practice squad signing. Some people thought he wasn't even going to make the 53. He was cooked, and in consecutive years, he has played very, very good football for this Niners team. The issue with him coming back, you can't count on him for 6 games. So I don't think that the Niners sign him soon. I think if an injury happens during the year, though, and you're in week 4, you're in week 5, and you know that Gipson is going to be able to come back soon, You bring in a smart vet, a good leader, a player who's respected, has familiarity with the team as well as the defense, and then you go that route. I do want to throw it back to when the 49ers report was in Las Vegas in the lead up to the Super Bowl. I had a great conversation with Tashaun Gipson about some of what we've talked about today. Going from the practice squad to becoming a starting safety for this team, playing so well that Jimmy Ward had to play in the slot. Really enjoyed this conversation, and it gives you a glimpse at the player and the person that Gipson is.
As a veteran, you've kind of been year to year over the last couple of years. To be on this stage playing for the right to win the Super Bowl, what's it mean to you as an older vet?
Oh man, it's so cool, it's so surreal just to be able to have this opportunity to come and just be a veteran presence more than anything and be a part of something so special. Obviously, the 49ers, man, it was good before I got here. I just wanted to do my winter 11, and man, it's just been a match made in heaven. I'm just so fortunate that they welcomed me in and allowed me to just thrive and do my job, and man, I'm just so excited about the opportunity.
When they signed you going into the season last year, practice squad because of Jimmy Ward's injury, and then you get inserted as a starter, you played so well that they moved Jimmy to nickel. What has the last couple of years meant for you, and what has this organization meant to you?
This organization here, man, I can't tell people enough of how just fortunate I am to be able to be a part of something so special, man. Mr. Lynch, Coach Kyle, they brought me in. They were straight shooters from day one, and they gave me the opportunity to play. And their motto is the best 11 guys don't play. Obviously, we had the best 11 guys out there. And those guys, man, I have nothing but the utmost respect for those guys, man, just for the opportunity. Nobody else was calling my phone. They gave me opportunity. I definitely couldn't let them down.
Lastly, defending Patrick Mahomes, very tall test, especially with Andy Reid calling the plays and designing the plays. I know it sounds simple, right? But what are the complexities of covering the Chiefs?
You know, honestly, when you think about Andy Reid and the scheme that he can run, you give him a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, and it's what Andy Reid want to do on steroids. Obviously, man, Patrick Mahomes is going to go down as one of the best, if not the best quarterback to play the game. Talent-wise, man, you just can't duplicate what he can do. So obviously, our hands is going to be full with the type of matchups that we have. They got good skill players as well. Travis Kelce, man, Hall of Fame guy. So it's going to be a tough matchup for us. Man, we're excited about the challenge. Obviously, it's going to be good on good, and that's what the Super Bowl is about.
And of course, we'll see what happens on the Gipson front. If the Niners do bring him back, you can expect a video right here on the show. Be sure to give me a follow on X at Chase_Senior. I am so close to 13,000 followers. I'm on Instagram as well. 30,000 plus. I put out a lot of short-form Niners content on those social media pages in addition to all of the long-form stuff here on YouTube. So give me a follow and say what's up.